since I found out I could talk to my grandpa in the afterlife through a psychic medium, I realized he has so many nuggets of wisdom to share with me, which I hope to share with you guys. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe down below. If you have any questions for Grandpa Luan, comment below and they might be featured in our next video. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoy.
Welcome to another episode of Lessons of Wisdom with Grandpa Luan. Today we are going to talk about the environment and global warming. Warning. Okay, so before I start asking him questions, is there anything he just wants to say in general to everyone?
So Grandpa mostly wants to just kind of address the fear and anxiety and the stress that everyone's going through right now with the COVID-19 situation we're going through as a global issue. And he's just very compassionate about everything people are feeling, the stress it causes, being unsure all the time of what's going to happen next, people not knowing if they're going to be safe or not. And he wants everyone to know that, this quarantine, he knows is uncomfortable, but he's saying it's a great time, since you're alone with yourself more and you're alone with your family more, it's time to cherish those moments with your family. If you live with, if you're married, have kids, or you have roommates, but also to spend quality time with yourself and kind of, he said right now it's kind of a purge energy going on, like a purge type, not like the movie The Purge, but it's more of an energetic purge energy, because believe it or not, things are lifting vibrationally, and this is part of that process. So he's saying you could do your own private little energy kind of purge by getting to know what's on your mind, seeing what maybe things that you've been wanting to do that you haven't been doing, kind of assessing how all this makes you feel, and where do you feel it in your body? How is it affecting your day-to-day life, and what lessons are coming up from you? What stuff is coming up that needs to be healed maybe, and learning how to heal yourself and how to soothe yourself during this kind of isolating time. And so he's encouraging everyone to maintain as many practices, that comfort them as possible: meditation, reading books, learning something, watching stuff that makes them feel good, talking with friends. So he's just saying, you're not alone. I know you feel alone, but you're not alone. And so he's just encouraging people to use this as a constructive time to grow, and whatever that means to you. So that's kind of his general message for everyone right now. He's just he's sending a lot of compassionate energy out to everybody.
Okay. How will Earth sustain all the pollution that's happening? Will we run out of space for trash?
I think about that one a lot. The trash.
Me too. Or even what about third world countries who seem behind on it because they use a lot of plastic and styrofoam because it's cheap and they can't afford compostable stuff?
Okay, that is a phenomenal question. So Grandpa is talking about how actually what's going on now might affect positive change for that in the future. So it's so interesting. Just kind of, he's just showing me flashes of different little videos, images of kind of how humanity's going to evolve in this way. And so basically what I'm seeing is that people are going to have more self-awareness after this COVID thing kind of eases up. Not everyone is going to learn from this and that way, but the consciousness is adjusting. Our collective consciousness of humanity is adjusting and is raising. He's showing me it's working itself out right now, and the Earth is doing that too. So he's saying that basically we're going to be coming out of this with a new appreciation for the Earth, for the natural processes, and for each other as human beings. And for some people that'll be very temporary and they'll kind of go back to their old ways. But for others, it will impact them so deeply that they'll create movements to actually address some of this stuff, because there's a lot of people out there, he's saying, that feel that maybe this is Earth's way of punishing us, or And it's not, Earth is not punishing us. Earth is just an amazing, complex entity, being, a living being that has an immune system like we do, and has filtering systems like we do, and has like blood. It looks different, it's through things that we view as like natural resources, but she has the same kind of structures, just manifested a little differently as we do. And when she gets sick, she's got to clean herself, she's got to cleanse herself, and you see natural things start to change. And so some of the climate stuff is Earth adjusting, trying to adjust to the current time we're in, and some of it has been triggered by humanity. It's a mix, and the more we disrespect the Earth, the more she kind of has to adjust so that she can survive, right? So it's just not sustainable, not on just an environmental level, but on an energetic level. We're going to feel the burn, if you will. God, sorry, because Bernie's running. I don't mean it like that. Just realized that's like the little slogan. We're going to feel kind of the repercussions more heavily if we continue to do this. So we have a chance right now to regroup and to get our crap together, basically, so that we can start to make adjustments and say, Mother Earth, we hear you. We're sorry. And it's not like she does not have an ego like we do. She doesn't, not out to punish us. It's just she's trying to just like make sure she's responsible for Gaia or Earth or whatever you want to call her. She's responsible for maintaining, I don't know, trillions of different life forms. Okay. And that's a heavy responsibility. So she has to do what's best for her and also for all of the inhabitants, right? So this is a time for us to reflect. Your grandpa's saying this is a time for us to kind of get a reality check so that we can start to diminish these things. And there are going to be some key people that are very upset by all what's happening and are feeling like this is an environmental, like the Earth is trying to defend itself, and they're going to be in the right place to fund certain things, to create support, actual support in government or startups or technology to start to address this. So it's going to take years for all this to really start to get momentum, but it's really starting to come to a head now to inspire all those actions. Does this make any sense?
Yeah. Are there any like ways that he's showing or ideas he's showing that are possibly happening in the future where they will solve a way on how we won't run out of space for trash, or maybe we won't create as much trash and garbage?
So there's new technologies being developed, he's saying right now, about creating more compostable type materials. And, oh, interesting. Okay. Sorry, that was crazy. He was just showing me this technology that can kind of dissolve trash into like, oh, that is, I'm sorry, my mind is a little blown right now. And it's very nerdy, very scientific. So I'm just trying to like translate what he's showing me into words. So there's this type of, either they're working on it now or this is going to come into reality at some point in the kind of maybe the next maybe 5 years or so. There's a technology being developed where they're trying to basically, they'll put trash into this almost like this soup, okay? Like it's these big vats. And then the trash is going to, there's something that dissolves it first into its kind of base components. It turns into chemicals, right? But they're going to have to sort them out, and there's going to be some sorting and stuff that has to happen. So there's certain chemical reactions like don't blow things up or whatever, right? But there's some sort of like, they're going to basically instead of incinerating, because incinerating it puts more compounds into the atmosphere and it ruins our ozone layer, all this other stuff, greenhouse effect, etc. Insert fancy term, but for this particular technology, it's actually going to dissolve the trash into its like basic components chemically, and then those chemicals are going to be treated and reconfigured and separated out, and there's going to be some of it that's reused and some of it that can be organically put back into the earth and it's absorbed because they have separated out the like synthetic compounds or whatever, or they've created chemical reactions that process it. And some of this I've seen, there's maybe the type of it looks to me kind of like an algae or like some sort of microorganism that eats certain chemicals or eats certain things that it feeds off it. They find that it can eat certain things. So some of it is biological, where they introduce a certain enzyme or a certain type of little organism that can start to like break this stuff down and convert it. And that's part of it. And they're experimenting in different ways with this, but that's kind of the future. That is currently an option that I'm seeing on this current timeline, but that's going to be years away from being mastered. But it seems like it's in the works. So that could be really cool, because then it's just kind of speeding up the decomposition process and being able to process stuff that's not normally able to be decomposed. So I would love to do that.
Yeah, that's so cool. And 5 years from now, we look back at this video and be like, oh yeah, turned out.
Sorry, I hope I explained that. Like, he was just showing me like the process and through videos and stuff. That's crazy.
Okay, let's see here. Reader question. Well, I think you kind of might have answered this. It said, is the human race destined to destroy the Earth? And what is it we should be doing to stop destroying the ecosystem?
So this is kind of, he's saying, like, I know it's easy to think we're very important, but the Earth is more powerful than we are, and she will defend herself. So yes, we can blow the Earth up with nuclear weapons, but I don't see that as currently on our current path. It may have been in the probability a while back, but we've continued to shift into a path that is showing now we're on a timeline or a path, energetic path, that seems like we're moving towards actually creating sustainability. And there's going to be more potential disasters, pandemics, weather events that are really scary, but we just have to hang on and keep working with the Earth. The more we work with the Earth, the more we'll be able to survive this stuff and be able to actually harmonize with her. That's what your grandfather loves, like plants and nature, and he's passionate about that kind of thing, and merging with those energies and working with them, and to he's a very humble man, right? So he loves to talk to people about kind of putting yourself outside the box a little, outside of our human ego, and valuing all forms of life that are here. And that's going to be part of us shifting our consciousness and creating solutions. So I'm not saying that the Earth, from what he's showing me, I'm not saying that the Earth is going to be like blown up. It's more of like there's going to be more weather adjustments and like biological adjustments in the Earth. And it's just not going to be tolerated much longer. We pretty much are going to have no choice than to change drastically. Yeah.
Is the future looking like everything's going to go electric and like solar panels?
Beyond electric. So again, oh man, science. Okay, get ready. There's like more cool stuff he's showing me.
Awesome.
Yeah, okay. This is so fascinating. Okay, so there's other forms of energy that are being experimented with that are like, I'm sorry, my cat is like posing really ungracefully right now. Distracting. He's saying that basically there's going to be this, there's experimentation with almost like fermentation, like the gases that are given off by fermentation.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody out there, I feel like, is experimenting with fermentation, the gases that come from like fermentation, and if that is a possible energy source. So also like other like microorganisms that give off certain gases. There's interest in some of these like organic kind of compounds or chemicals or chemical reactions, should I say, because, well, the combustion engine is a type of reaction, right? But this is different. It's more like chemical or biological, or there's a certain chain of process that happens that can create a combustible gas or something like that. But there's some really neat ideas out there that are going to be experimented with that go beyond just electric. because at the end of the day, electric is still taking up resources. It still has to be manufactured. It still has to be installed, and actually electric really disrupts natural environments because you're putting windmills there, you're putting solar panels, you're taking up natural habitats. It's still not a perfect solution. So there's going to be more creative solutions regarding like microorganisms, chemical reactions, and things like that that can be alternative fuel sources in the future. So, but this is going to take like 20 years from now, we'll really start seeing this stuff. So electric is going to be in the near future. That's going to really be our first big, that's like the first big leap from gasoline. And then 20 plus years in the future, there's going to be other alternatives that are starting to be experimented with. Well, in the next 20 years, being experimented and produced.
It's funny because when I'm trying not to laugh because I'm thinking the future of our power is going to be generated by farts.
Methane is a very powerful gas, honey.
So yeah, I think that's it for all our questions that we have in terms of environment and global warming. So thank you.
You're welcome. And he says thank you for asking him.